I'm in Waco, Texas right now, and there's two bridges that I wanted to take a look at. The first is this bridge over here, which was the Cotton Belt Railroad's bridge over the Brazos River. And the second is that suspension bridge in the background over there, which is actually one of the earliest suspension bridges in this region. So taking a look at this bridge, it was actually operated by the St. Louis and Southwestern Railroad, which was nicknamed the Cotton Belt Railroad. And it was one of the railroads established as part of the James Gould Empire. And it basically was a connecting railroad from the middle of Texas through Arkansas and into the St. Louis area. And it brought a lot of agricultural products, cattle, cotton, of course, from Texas and Arkansas into the hub of St. Louis, where it was transferred into any of a number of railroads and sent to the northeast. So the river down there is the Brazos River, which is one of the more major rivers in Texas. So just taking a look down the bed of the railroad, I believe this railroad was this bridge was abandoned in the 1970s. So the history of the St. Louis and Southwestern Railroad is that they were basically bought up by the Southern Pacific, which initially operated them as a subsidy and then eventually folded them over into their railroad empire. And then when Southern Pacific was bought out by the Union Pacific, or merged with Union Pacific, they became part of the Union Pacific, and this bridge, I guess, was surplus to requirements. There's actually another railroad bridge over there in the distance that's still operational. I believe that's also operated by Union Pacific. So they had redundant bridges over the Brazos River at this area, and they chose to get rid of this one. So just looking at the girders at the southern end of the bridge, you can see there's a lot of wear and tear to it, and it's pretty rusted over. I believe this was a Pratt Truss bridge. So I've actually seen quite a few of those if you've followed the channel. And here's a look up at the deck of the bridge, so you can see how worn it is, how many of the ties have actually rotted away and fallen out, and those ties are still in place, are actually in pretty poor shape. So just looking down the bridge, you can see how rusted away it is. On my way to the other side of the bridge, I actually saw this family of ducks. That was interesting. I believe there's 9 of them. There's actually quite a bit of fowl and other wildlife in this part of the Brazos River. I am directly below the bridge, and I found something rather strange. There's actually a giant stuffed animal right beneath the bridge. I have no idea how this got down here or what it's doing here. Maybe some kid was playing and left it. Maybe it belongs to some vagrant, I don't know. It's just really, really an odd place to see a giant stuffed animal. I'm on the northern side of the bridge now, and there's actually only a wire fence here, so you can get a good look down the path of the bridge. So you can see all of the rotted ties and all of the vegetation that's growing on them. I imagine this would have been a single track bridge, because it doesn't look like it would have been wide enough to accommodate 2 tracks. In the background, you can actually see the city of Waco. And from where I'm standing behind me, you can see down what would have been the right of way of the railroad. So it's now pretty heavily overgrown, which gives you an idea of how long this right of way has been abandoned. And it goes off and actually disappears into what's been developed over by a highway. So not completely sure what path this would have taken. There's actually very little of the right of way of this railroad still left.